I caught a lot of flack on my first video months ago about making money easily through salvage cargo. A lot of people felt that 1.4 was a very difficult goal to start your grind. Well, that gave me an idea. Instead of trying to do 0 to hero challenges where I only use one ship, or start with only an Aurora, why not use no ship at all? And I'm not talking to drop off outside Glesher and try to hoof it to a nearby outpost. I mean reaching out in chat and offering my services as crew. If space travel did exist, we wouldn't all be riding amongst the stars in our own multi-million-dollar ships. Some of us would be stuck at a warehouse in ArcCorp. So how do you get off-planet with no money? Offer your skill set to a wealthy benefactor who can take you amongst the stars for very little pay. I first started my challenge in Lorville Transit. I reached out in global chat and saw if anyone was looking for a worker, making sure to let them know of my self-imposed challenge. See, I have access to a good bit of ships. Playing since 2013, my initial Aurora pledge has grown to a lot more. After asking in chat, I finally got a bite. A man by the name of White Tiger. He asked me my location, and I let him know I can be wherever I'm needed.
Goodbye.
Meet me at Area 18.
Welcome.
Alright, sir, you got one. On my way.
Goodbye.
He let me know where he was at, so I hopped over, and my 85X... When I arrived, I had to gear up and grab some food, but he was pretty patient. Once I got there, he informed me of what the job was. Alright, I made it back.
Alright. Let's call out a shit. What we're gonna do, so you're not totally blind, we're gonna run some drugs.
Okay.
Like I said, it might be completely painless. We might not run into anybody ever, but at the same time we might. So
I got you. See, cargo running is easily the most profitable thing to do in Star Citizen. If you have the capital, you can pretty much make a killing just buying large amounts and selling large amounts of cargo. The issue is pirates. My job was going to be to sit in a chair on the remote turret and be ready to swat any flies that may show up. The cargo ships are pretty tanky, but they're also easy to outmaneuver, so firing from 2 vantage points usually makes pirates think twice. I let them know I had some experience on the sticks. Alright, let me swap over my my food and stuff into your ship.
where is... I think you get to the remote turret from the co-pilot seat, I believe.
Yeah, I've been on this. My binds are a little new, so I might have to swap around my swap remote turret binds. But yeah, I've been on this remote turret a lot. I like I like crewing a lot, so I've been on a lot of people's turrets. Not to toot my own horn, but I am a professional turret sitter. I might get outclassed in dogfights, but I have a ton of experience on turrets in Star Citizen. While some dream of traveling the stars in a Gladius, dueling anyone they come across, your boy here just wants to sit in a turret on an Idris and be a good soldier. We made our way to the C2 and got our snack on. And then I disposed of my trash. Sorry, Tiger. Then I took my seat and we were off. Shortly into this trip, I realized that I was dealing with an org that knew their stuff. This was the best case scenario when crewing. Sometimes you end up sitting on a turret from some guy who's running HRTs or ERTs and you might pull in 50 to 100k an hour. But these guys were clearly pretty seasoned and in touch with how to make some serious money in Star Citizen.
What y'all doing?
I'm running some drugs to see how profitable it is.
Alright.
See how many millions I gotta drop just to buy this crap.
For that reason, I cut out a few details and locations because when you run a route that's this streamlined, the last thing you want is it being broadcast on some guy's YouTube channel. The first spot we stopped at, we actually had already ran into some trouble. We were still in nav mode and weapons were disabled. Once he enabled combat mode, I hopped in the turret. They didn't seem to gain on us, and they were just AI, so I just communicated that.
Uh-oh.
How close to the... Yeah, we got targets. Let me get in a... Okay, they're NPCs. Let me hop in a turret. Or are you still in nav mode?
Hang on.
All good, man.
If they come in close enough, they fire on us, then let me know.
Nah,
We might get lucky. They may leave us alone.
Yeah, closest one's 6 clicks out, and you're losing them, so you're good. Once he knew we were good, he just kept trucking. Yeah, they're 10 out. They're dropping off.
Alright, we'll switch into nav mode for just a minute. Get my line out right.
I scanned for stragglers on arrival and waited at the ship for him to fill up on cargo.
Alright, let me know if anything pops up on radar or anything. I'll be right back.
We hit our next planet after and loaded up again. One really cool thing about Star Citizen is the scenery, and I was fortunate enough to be seeing a lot of it for someone without a ship. At this time, the audio did get a little wonky. I usually record each portion of audio on a separate track, and for some reason only one track came through. So from here on out, we don't really have much, which is a shame because the engines on the Connie sound incredible. His org mate decided to play a prank and give him a small heart attack by lining up his ship in the doorway as he left. Then we are off to our next location. So far so good, and I hadn't even fired a single shot. This next location, you'll either know it or you won't. We landed, and he went in to pick up another shipment. I did my job and tagged along, and as you can see, we now had a pretty significant amount of cargo stocked up. I kept my eyes on the sky for anything that might come in to contest us, and his org mate asked me if I wanted to see something cool. I said sure and ran over, and he dropped a grenade at our feet. So this time I was the victim of the heart attack, but luckily he never pulled the pin. We made our way out to the final location where he could offload his spoils. I ran around the carcass of the poor Cutlass that was there before us, and we returned to the ship. That's when I received my cut. 1.2 million. I had already hit half my goal within a single hour session. Afterwards, we did do some salvage. I spent hours in a turret scraping holes, but due to the nature of how they operate and a couple tricks of the trade they taught me, I will not be including that in this video. I ended up receiving my cut from that later down the road, and it was about 1.5 million. You won't always end up making this much, but this just goes to prove you can make a lot of money just being a crewmate. A captain will gladly pay for competent crew, and the verse is much safer with allies. A big shout out to Crimson Legion. They're a great org and really friendly and entertaining. I honestly had a blast and forgot we were even grinding. It's a shame I can't post all of our misadventures or comms, but it definitely was a great first experience crewing. So normally at this point you'd buy a small ship, but keeping in the spirit of the challenge, I want to keep going solely as a crew member. Stay tuned for the next episode, or catch my stream for a sneak peek at what happens next. If you enjoyed this video, hit the like button, drop me a subscribe, and turn that bell on to make sure you get notified of any new videos. Give me a follow on Twitch, as the spoils I get from these challenges are going to be going to you lucky followers. I'm going to be plugging your names in a random generator, and whoever it lands on, I'm going to reach out, ask for your in-game name, and shoot you the cash. So stock up on that cruise lux and stay hydrated out there, citizens.